Okay, so let's get right into the news. All right. So did you hear about this new Dragon Ball Z movie?
No, I have not. And as being a weeb, I'm disappointed. I'm not caught up with it.
Oh, you're not? Well,
No.
so for those of you who don't know, Dragon Ball Z is like one of my favorite animes. I actually been really getting back into the series recently.
Because of me.
Um, sure, I guess.
Yeah, I've been showing you a lot of anime, so I got you rekindled that flame you had.
Yeah, because I'm even giving Naruto like a second chance because I didn't like it when it came out initially
And I'm
in the
gonna be
United
watching
States.
it with him. I'm gonna be watching it with him as well, since I watch like.
We might make a podcast episode about it. I might
Well, it's
recommend
too
it.
long to be honest.
I
Naruto is
know,
long.
I know that's like quite a bit of a commitment.
Exactly. If you're
That's
gonna.
like one of the reasons why like I didn't watch it. Like I didn't watch it initially because at the time when it came out, I was getting out of anime because I stopped watching Toonami on Cartoon Network, and
Oh
so
yeah, I forgot
yeah.
Tamale was at Cartoon Network.
Toonami is like one of the reasons why anime is so big in the United States. It's because it introduced a lot of people to different animes such as like Yu Yu Hakusho, Sailor Moon, and Dragon Ball Z. So around the time Toonami was kind of was like the first run of Toonami was kind of ending. And so Naruto comes around and Naruto becomes like the big popular anime. So I'm starting to move away from like liking anime and I'm starting to like indie movies and like indie rock and stuff like that. Like I was becoming like a hipster. Like this was also around the time when hipsters started to really become popular. And so I viewed people who liked like anime and like Naruto as like really cringy people. And
Well, I hope that with my experience and him being around me, we're not that cringe. We just act like cringe because
I know, but like it just seems so weird to me that like everybody who liked Naruto, like they would buy like the headbands and wear them to like the school.
Naruto,
They would wear the
believe it.
they would wear them to school. They would wear them in the classroom. Some people would even do like you know how like Naruto kind of has like whiskers on his face. Like they would like take like their Sharpies or like their makeup or whatever, and they would do like those whiskers that Naruto would have. And it's like it was like so fucking cringe, but but yeah, but going back to this Dragon Ball Z movie, so this new Dragon Ball Z movie, actually, if you didn't know, is actually being animated completely in 3D animation CGI, but it is cell shaded, so it does look something like the original like animation, like the original designs, but it's just rendered in 3D using cell shaded skins or cell shaded textures. So yeah, so I can't believe that you don't know about this new trailer.
Nah, I've been busy with life that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't even look through my enemy blood that goes through me.
I mean, yeah. So I'm kind of excited for it. I don't know how I feel about the animation though, because even though like nowadays like Japan like Japan never has been really known for 3D animation, and the few 3D like things that they put out, it's kind of hit and miss. I don't know if you
Hit
saw.
or miss is all about. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, I don't know if you saw that Lupin the Third movie.
No, I have not.
I
Again,
I
life has been in
yeah.
my way.
I really want to see that one. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I believe it's available on like iTunes and YouTube and stuff, so I think I can rent it there.
Ooh, nice.
So I'll definitely check that one out, and that one looks like really good. It really looks like a very professionally made 3D movie. But sometimes like the 3D implementation in some of the scenes in some of the animes that we watch, sometimes it can be kind of jarring, a little bit uncanny, and I sometimes feel like it doesn't blend well. So we'll see about this new Dragon Ball Z movie. I believe this new Dragon Ball Z movie, like the two main characters are gonna be Gohan and Piccolo.
Really?
So yeah.
Why?
I don't know why, cause honestly, I haven't been keeping up with like none of the manga, and I didn't really watch like the last few episodes or the last like season of Dragon Ball Super, so I don't know exactly why in universe that is the case, for the movie. But it is interesting to see because I think Piccolo and Gohan are gonna have like a redemption arc, or like or like yeah, maybe not a redemption arc. That's probably not the best way to describe it. What they're probably gonna get is like, they're probably gonna get, rewritten a little bit so that, they can contribute more to the stories in the actual like show and manga. Because for like a long time, Dragon Ball, one thing that the fans have really criticized Dragon Ball is that, all of the stories, like the story is always the same. Like a new big bad villain comes into town, and none of the other characters are strong enough to beat him, and so it always comes down to Goku to defeat the villain, and so that becomes like very old and very tiring.
So they
Um,
wanted to have a change of pace then. That's what I'm
yeah,
hearing.
Yeah, and so and I think like Dragon Ball Super has really been trying to really make the side characters and the secondary characters more involved in the story, and like being strong enough to keep up with like Goku and Vegeta so that they can contribute more to the story. So we'll definitely see how this new movie comes out. Maybe we'll watch it together when it comes out in theaters. All I know is that supposedly it comes out this year. So yeah, so Dragon Ball Super. Can't wait to see that new movie.
I can't wait to see it. It sounds interesting. Just having
Yeah, and it's
Piccolo and Gohan.
yeah, and it's 3D, and so
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like I mentioned, it's 3D animation, but it's cell shaded. So that means like the textures on the characters look two-dimensional.
Gotcha.
Did you hear about the new Spiderverse sequel?
Yes, I have. With Miles Morales going to the Spiderverse more into it.
Yeah, so
We actually see what was his name?
Spider-Man 2099?
Yeah, 2099. We actually see him.
Yeah. And so that movie, it got a pretty good teaser trailer that came out last year. But the recent news is that Spider-Man into Across the Spider-Verse got got delayed a year.
Why?
It was supposed to come out this year. There really hasn't been any kind of like story on why, or like there hasn't been like any explanation why it's been delayed. I think one of the things that has delayed it is probably the pandemic. The pandemic probably has had
effect on it.
has had an effect on the production of the movie. And also, from what I understand, the original directors of the first movie are not involved with this new one. So it's a completely different team of directors working on this new one. And also, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? No, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has been split into two parts. So there's going to be a part one and a part two.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was like Sony, because it's Sony producing the movie. I don't know if that's Sony wanting to like just milk this franchise for everything that it's worth. And so who knows if they made it, they said like, okay, the only way that we're going to make it is if you guys make this into two parts. And like, who knows what other characters they might want to put into this movie.
Wait, I probably have a theory.
Yeah,
probably
go for it.
The first part is for Miles Morales getting like the jizz was going on, and then they go on to their whole battle, and then the climax of the whole thing will be ended, but it will end when something happening. It's like, oh crap, can we do it? So like the whole story, like Miles gets like into it. He's not like very into it, but until like the very end, he has a purpose of doing it, because he told him like if he doesn't do it, his universe will be like destroyed or something. Like I don't know what reasons they're gonna give him, but in the end climax, when they finally end the movie, they're gonna probably have like a big cliffhanger what happened, and then that's how they're gonna cut it off and go on. And since it's Sony, I bet they're gonna try to add one of their Spider-Mans into the multiverse.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably why it's two part. Part one is for just to get the gist of it.
Part one is to set up the story, and then
Yeah.
part two, it's gonna kind of be like Avengers Endgame sort of.
Yeah, kind of. So that's that's my theory. That's why they're doing part one and part two of this movie. Is to have part one just be the gist of what's going on, and then part two will be the end climax of them finishing what they have started. But like probably some effects will happen or whatever.
Yeah. Because it's so interesting that like movies nowadays, they're embracing the multiverse storyline, because it really kind of started with
Like
what
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. That's like the new one coming out, and then Spider-Man No Way Home. That one really embraced the multiverse story angle. and the original Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. That one like helped like like they not what am I trying to say? That one helped like general audiences like accept the idea of like a multi-dimensional story.
Well, a lot of those has happened in TV shows. Like
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
but in movies, like I'm talking about like
Yeah, in
movies
movies, yeah,
nowadays,
they
because
haven't done it.
because
Yeah.
you really don't see that a lot, because like you don't really see that a lot because like a lot of times movies, like when movie studios have the rights to a character, they like to protect that character a lot, and like if like that character has had different versions of them be played by like a different actor, they don't like to reference like the other movies, because they want it to be like their own thing. But it's really interesting
Yeah.
that nowadays they're embracing it mostly for nostalgia. They're really just doing
Yes,
this
just for nostalgia hits.
they're really just doing this to appeal to older fans of these franchises that just will not die.
So true.
Yeah,
So true.
and then with like Doctor Strange, like the big rumor for that one is that many like it's not just going to be like a million Doctor Stranges running around. Like they're going to include cameos and supporting roles for other Marvel characters and other versions of Marvel characters. So we'll see. So when we see that, we'll see like how well they pull it off with these other Marvel characters.
All I want to say is Doctor Strange is meeting up there with the Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
They're gonna meet the Illuminati.
Illuminopoly confirmed.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
cannot believe Doctor Strange was one of them.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that's Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. All right, so another bit of movie news. The director of Fast and Furious 10 quit the project.
Oh yes, you were talking about this, and I was like, wait, save this for the podcast because it is interesting as
Okay.
fuck.
All right, so director Justin Lin, the original director of Fast and Furious 10, has decided to step down as the director of this new Fast and Furious movie. There hasn't been really like a concrete reason why he left the movie. I believe like in the news story they just stated that it's just due to creative differences. Hey, stop playing your memes.
Sorry.
So so yeah, so what was I saying? So
The reason why
the reason why he left is just like what Universal has stated, is just due to creative differences, and I think also for like mental health reasons. He decided to step down from the project, and just recently, the movie just found its new director. So they found, I forget the name of this director, but if you remember that Incredible Hulk movie from 2008, the same director who directed that movie is. Oh, and also I think he directed that movie called Now You See Me. So if you guys remember those two movies, so he's the new director of Fast and Furious 10. Now, I don't know exactly how much footage has already been shot, so it'll be interesting to see when the movie comes out, if it feels like two completely different movies at different times of the story.
Oh, so you're worried of like one producer created this and then they just add it on but make it completely different. You're afraid of them just continue on.
Well, yeah, well that's a problem because that's something that we've seen a lot happen recently, where directors step down from like these big like franchise or action movies. Like, did you see Solo, a Star Wars story?
No, I have not.
Well, do you know like the backstory behind that movie?
Only some parts and pieces of it.
So the backstory of this movie is that this was during the time when Disney first bought Marvel, and not Marvel, Star Wars. They bought Star Wars, and so The Force Awakens had just come out. Force Awakens was like was like the biggest movie that year, the year that it came out, and so they decided to. So Lucasfilm decided to start greenlighting like all these different movies, because they wanted to treat Star Wars like the way that Disney is treating Marvel. So they wanted to have like a big expanded universe. So
Alright.
one of the movies that they greenlit right away was a Han Solo origin movie.
Ah, yes, that one where he just goes on doing his own thing, and then it shows how he got the Millennium Falcon, and then how he met Chewie,
Chewbacca, yeah.
and then how he became how he was in the original series.
Yeah, and so that movie originally was directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. the directors of the Lego Movie, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, 21 Jump Street. So those directors, and so those directors are really known for like doing like a lot of comedies and doing like a lot of parody and satirical humor in their scripts and their movies. And so they hired these two guys to direct the movie. Now, the big problem with the Han Solo movie is that the directors and the producers at Lucasfilm, those executives, they didn't like the direction that the story was going.
Ah, I see.
Because a lot of people speculate that Phil Lord and Chris Miller were turning it more into like a comedy and not exactly like a Star Wars movie.
Like a serious Star Wars.
Yeah,
and all
like
that.
they were trying to do like more kind of like parody type stuff. Like think about like sort of like you know how like Rick and Morty like they parody like famous movies.
Morty.
Yeah.
Morty. Minecraft.
Yeah, you know how like Rick and Morty kind of parody like famous movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they satirize it, and at the same time they make fun of it.
Yes.
So a lot of people thought that that was the kind of direction that the story was going in, and
Understandable.
yeah, and then also, I feel and I think Lucasfilm were also not happy with the actor that they chose to play Han Solo. It was so Han Solo, instead of being played by Harrison Ford, he was played by this young actor named Alden Ehrenreich, who at the time was an up and coming actor who had acted in a few movies, and he was just like ready to become like the next big star. And so this Han Solo movie was supposed to make him into like a big movie star, but Disney had like a big problem with the way that he was acting, and they publicly criticized the way that he was acting.
My God, why? What did he do?
I don't know, because in the movie that came out, he was okay. He was all right as Han Solo. Like he didn't give like a bad performance. But I guess it just wasn't what they were expecting. So the movie comes out. So before the movie comes out, they fire the two directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and they replace them with Ron Howard, who is an Oscar-winning director. He directs the movie, but when you watch the Han Solo movie, you can obviously tell where the two different movies split off because Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they directed about 70% of the original movie.
Really?
And Ron Howard only directed about 30 to 20% the rest of the movie.
Jesus.
Because there were certain certain plot points and story beats that were changed around. Like for example, the main villain of the movie was completely like scrapped. Like those scenes were scrapped, and they hired a different actor, and there was like different sets and everything, and they reshot like all the stuff with like the main villain. And there was like some obvious scenes where the scene where like Han Solo finds the Millennium Falcon, it was obvious that was like a scene that they reshot and that they re-edited. So it's very obvious. So that's what I'm worried about this new Fast and Furious movie is like how much is it going to be jarring? How much is it all going to flow together? Because I don't think it's going to flow together. I don't think that they're going to write a good enough story or rewrite a good enough script so that the movie doesn't feel off. Because also one big problem or one big rumor that everybody is saying about this new Fast and Furious movie is that Vin Diesel is the producer of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, he has a lot of say in what goes into these movies. And it's like an open secret that he has like a really big ego. Like he really thinks a lot, like he has a big ego, and he's a bit of a jerk. And so these Fast and Furious movies, like a lot of times people joke that these movies are just made to make Vin Diesel look good or to look cool.
My God, can you just let the movie be how it is?
Exactly, because like, so here's the thing with like Fast and Furious. So like in the last movie, Vin Diesel's character, he has a fight scene with like 50 guys. And
yeah,
like,
you told me about
yeah,
this. He
yeah.
fought like he had like 100 people going at him, and he was winning. And
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, he was kicking their asses.
Yeah, he was going 1-2 on them.
Yeah, and Vin Diesel's character is a normal fucking human being. He's not a superhero. He's not Groot, because you know he plays Groot in Guardians.
I am Groot.
Yeah, so it's not Vin Diesel as Groot beating the shit out of 100 guys. It's Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto, a normal fucking guy fighting 100 grown ass dudes and fucking winning.
That makes no sense. How
I
big of
know.
an ego is he? What
Yeah,
is
that's
Oh,
it.
I'm gonna do a Marvel reference. Is he Ego the living planet? Any
Yeah,
of
pretty
these-
much.
Any you know of it, but I just wonder if any of our fans know what words cannot work right now.
Yeah, and so like,
Hope you get that
Yeah.
reference, guys.
and so who knows how deep Vin Diesel has his fingers in this new Fast and Furious movie? Because who knows? Because like the last Fast and Furious movie got like a lot of criticism from like the fans and from like critics. So who knows if he's trying to like maybe win back the fans with this movie, and he's like afraid of like other people messing with like his vision, because like who knows, because like the last movie, a lot of people got angry because they were it's just really stupid. People got angry because like they did things like they introduced John Cena as Vin Diesel's brother.
Oh yes, I didn't really enjoy it because I just saw just a body, a motionless body just moving around with
Yeah.
armor on top of it. I didn't know what he was grabbing. I didn't know what he was fighting. I didn't see
Yeah.
the person at all.
Yeah. Dick.
You got the joke finally.
fucking
You
dick.
finally got the. How long you guys took?
You fucking dick. Yeah, if you want, you remember that movie, The Invisible Man, that came out 2020?
Yes,
They should have just hired John Cena
I know.
and saved a lot of money on special
yeah,
effects.
exactly. He's still the same person. If you put him in there, you won't see him at all.
Yeah,
You
and
save a lot of money from that, you guys. You fucked up on that.
yeah, so like that last movie, number 9, the story was shit. It was like super shit.
Well, I never saw it, so
Yeah, and
I
then
can't really give my opinion on it because
but
I've
also
never seen it.
they do one thing that the fans have been asking for a long time,
And what that
but
is.
they but a lot of people weren't satisfied with it. Do you want me to spoil it?
How big is this spoiler? How big?
I mean, well, it's in the trailers, so
Okay,
it's not
go for it.
okay. So spoiler for Fast 9. They go to fucking space.
They go to space. Okay,
They go to
that makes-
space.
Okay, fucking goddamn it. What is this, Call of Duty?
They go to space in a rocket ship car.
What?
I know, yeah. Because
What?
because two of the characters have like a device that they have to put on a satellite so that the bad guys can't control like all the technology in the world or some shit.
Wait, my brain is still processing a rocket car.
Yes, a rocket
Into
car.
space.
Yes, a rocket car into space. Like they put the car on a big jet plane, like a big jet plane, and they go up into the atmosphere. They go up into the atmosphere high enough to give them like a boost. So they turn on the car. They have like a big ass rocket in the trunk. They turn on the rocket and they go into fucking space, and they don't even have like proper like space suits. So it's like a miracle that they didn't die.
What the fuck?
Like again, this is all done like with special effects and everything, so nobody was harmed. But in the context of the movie, it's like their spacesuits are held together with like fucking duct tape.
The fuck kind of? In reality, they would have died. If they're gonna make a fantasy world, they should have put fantasy in the freaking title.
Well, that's the problem with like the new Fast and Furious movies, is because the new Fast and Furious movies have gone so far away from the original concept of these movies that they just seem like parodies of the original movie, because the original movie was about street racing.
Yes.
Was about street racing,
Family.
family,
family,
but also
and
about
family.
Would you shut the fuck up? We get it, it's family.
And family.
Fucking Vin Diesel over here. No, but like it was about street racing. It was about pulling heists and stealing, and it was about crime. So it was fairly realistic. Like it was still cheesy as hell, but it was grounded in some kind of reality. But then as the movies started, like as the sequels started to come out, and they had to top each other one by one, like the next movie had to top the other movie, and so on and so forth. Like they just got so fucking ridiculous. Like, did you see Fast and Furious 7?
Yes, I
Like
have.
like in the beginning where like they parachute out of a plane, like they
Yeah.
parachute their cars out of a fucking plane.
Yeah, that's actually real in military. In
I know,
military stuff.
I know, but still, but like to think that these characters started off as like underground street racers who would steal shit to like get money to modify their cars. Like they're secret agents now. Dominic Toretto is not a street racer anymore. He's basically like Jason Bourne. He's like Jason Bourne and James Bond's like love child, like their bald love child.
My God, yeah, it's like the whole concept. Like, if you tell the whole story how it began and then how it ended, like, the fuck happened to the main story part of them racing on the underground? Like,
I
in
know.
the whole in the future, like no, like to your kids, like in the future, like let's say 2035 and Fast and Furious 35 comes out. Like I'm doing a theory, like if they did that long and
Yeah.
Fast and Furious 35 came out and their kids is like, oh my God, I love Fast and Furious 35, and you're just there looking at this kid like, kid, you don't even know how they destroyed this movie.
I mean, with
If you knew
Yeah.
the history of how it began,
yeah.
you would have been like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, with the way that this franchise is going, like I could imagine them doing at least 30 Fast and Furious movies. Because at a certain point, some cast members are either not going to appear or some of them might die. But they
There's a
could
possibility for that, yeah.
But they could always continue. They could always continue the story because Vin Diesel's character has a son now in these movies.
Yes, he does. I know about that.
And so
His son could take over
Yeah.
the torch.
Yes.
And then Fast and Furious 35, 34, 36, and
I
all
know.
of it will increase.
and then Vin Diesel can just like chill out like in the background and he could be like his mentor or whatever. And Vin Diesel's still gonna make that Fast and Furious money because those are like the only movies that Vin Diesel makes nowadays is Fast and Furious, and every once in a while Marvel calls him up to play Groot.
I am Groot.
Yeah, like I'm dead ass serious. So yeah.
I'm Groot.
So yeah, so that's Fast and Furious for you. Any other news that you want to mention or
Well,
stuff like that?
we can mention it in the next podcast, but the new movie for Thor, Thunder and Love.
Oh yeah, that was good.
We could talk about it later in the future.
It's very colorful.
Yes, it is.
So I'm interested to see how that one comes out. But yeah, that was a good trailer. Did you notice like at the beginning of the trailer when Kid Thor is running
Yes.
and he turns into teenage Thor, we see Thor's comic accurate costume.
Yes.
So that was like a good Easter egg. I like that. Actually, Marvel has been doing that a lot recently. I don't know if you've noticed. Did
Yes,
you see?
I have noticed
Did you
it.
see WandaVision?
No, I have not.
Well, in WandaVision, they do like one episode where it's
oh yeah,
Halloween,
she's wearing her
Yeah.
actual costume in the comics. Yeah, I've seen that.
and then in the Loki show,
They
Loki.
got the old version of Loki.
Yeah,
wearing
there's
his
like
iconic suit.
Yeah, there's like an OG Loki, and yeah, he wears like the old suit from the comic books from the '60s, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Falcon's Captain America suit.
yeah. I saw
pretty
that one.
accurate.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate with the comics.
So yeah, so can't wait to see that one. So I think we should move on to our next topic. Before we get into the actual episode, I wanted to do a little segment called "Getting to Know You."
Ah, yes,
Um,
this one. He wanted to talk about ourselves, individuals, so
Yeah.
so you guys can know us a little bit more, since we've been producing episodes and we haven't been talking about ourselves. But
Well, yeah,
you know.
we don't have to go into like our whole autobiographies, but let's just let's just give our listeners like just like a little bit of backstory and a little bit of
give them character, not just
Yeah.
two people just talking about shit. They
yeah.
don't
Let's
even
let's give them
understand.
the lore of the Anime Match.
Oh, my lore is
podcast.
quite dark. I lived for thousands of years. I have been cursed to always live for eternity. I am a dragon born of blood and sacrifice, and I am fueled by
So-
rage and power of will.
So, since you're thousands of years old, can I ask you one question?
Yeah, what's up?
Why didn't you stop World War II?
I was the one who caused World War II.
Don't fucking say that. Don't fucking say that. Do you know what happened in fucking World War II?
Yes, I do know. Hitler.
That was a joke.
Hitler.
That was parody. That was parody. That was satire.
Yeah, it was satire. Don't take it for real. If
You
any of
fucking
you,
dick.
any of you take that for real, you should go ask your parents to smack you in the ass like Pink Guy from that one song he made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you finally remembered the
Yeah.
one that you lost. I lost my shit in.
Oh yeah, Filthy Frank. R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Filthy Frank.
He's doing well. He's making music.
Yeah, but like as a pop singer, like
yeah,
an
but
R&B
he's doing
singer.
good.
But
He's doing good for himself. I'm happy for him.
I just wish he would do comedy. But anyways,
yeah, that's
R.I.P.
good. Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P. My favorite YouTuber of all time.
not one of mine, but he's still good.
Okay, so yeah, so getting to know you. So I'm just gonna throw out like a couple of questions, that we'll both answer. So like my first question is like, since this is like an anime podcast, what's your favorite anime?
Ooh, that is too many to list, my good sir.
Do you want me to
Too
do you want me
many
to
to
start? Because my list is probably way shorter than yours.
Yeah, go for it.
So obviously I mentioned before Dragon Ball Z. I'm a big fan of just like the Dragon.
Normie choice.
Fuck off.
Normie choice.
I don't know, look, but here's the thing. I don't know if it's like my all-time favorite. I just love the series so much. It's
Which is understandable.
it means a lot to me. Like just not just Dragon Ball Z, but also like the original Dragon Ball is also pretty good, and also Dragon Ball GT I feel is a bit misunderstood.
Ooh, a lot of people don't like GT.
I mean yes, people don't like GT, and it's fair.
Yeah, it is fair.
Because it's not a perfect show, and it's not the best show ever produced, but I just feel like
But it tells you a different story. Like
Yeah.
what happens if they did evolve to a form where they
Well-
combine their monkey and
well,
their
that's- well,
Saiyan
that's-
powers.
well, I feel like people like that Super Saiyan transformation. What they don't like is that it's so like at first it was so completely different from what Dragon Ball Z was.
Yes.
Because they were trying to recreate the same feel and the same kind of like story, the same types of stories that the original Dragon Ball used to do. But anyways, going on from Dragon Ball, I'm also a big fan of the show Yu Yu Hakusho. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do remember. It's in my mind, but I
Yeah.
don't remember the concept no more.
Yeah, 'cause that was-
it's been so long.
Because that was Funimation's other like big show that they would play on Tsunami. And so that one I followed quite a bit because it had that kind of same vibe as Dragon Ball Z, but it was different. It was different. So I like that one. Cowboy Bebop, obviously.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah. Cowboy Bebop. I love Cowboy Bebop.
Not
so-
the live action one, right?
No, not the live action
Okay,
one. That
thank
one
God.
is ass.
Thank God. I was gonna say if you like that, I was gonna kick your ass. Go, boy.
I don't
you
know.
better get
I don't.
better taste.
I don't know what's up with Netflix. Netflix always fucks up their anime adaptations.
They should just stop at this point.
Because speaking of Netflix adaptations, I do like the original Death Note. Have you ever seen Death Note?
The animation or the anime?
The anime.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's really good. That one I like quite a bit.
It's really good. He became what he sworn to kill.
And it's like a crime story. It's an anime crime story, and
Yes,
it's
it is. It's
and-
actually one of our lists to watch.
Yeah, and it's just so different from, well, at least when I saw it, it was so different from what I guess like American audiences thought of anime. But like anime covers so many different genres that it's not just like action and comedy. It's other types of
Isekai, horror.
yeah, it's other types
gore,
of genres.
demons, angels,
Yeah, because Death Note is crime and horror.
sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi. Speaking of sci-fi, Evangelion.
Yes.
I love Evangelion. I
That's
also like
it's one of my lists, not on the top list, but it's
Yeah.
it's in my list.
also I like the Gundam franchise.
Oh, yep, same here.
I love the Gundam franchise.
Yes. Ooh, have you heard Blood Brother Flower? Or
No.
I forgot the name of it. It's in the list,
Okay.
and we're
all
gonna
right.
watch it.
I like more of the like classic Gundams because those were the ones that I got exposed to originally. What else? What else do I like? Studio Ghibli, like those movies, Princess Mononoke,
Yes, yes.
Kiki's Delivery
We
Service.
actually watched Princess Mononoke together. It was
Yeah,
my first time watching it. Never
yeah.
heard of it. It
Oh yeah,
existed.
yeah. It's one of my favorite movies. Like I'm really big into fantasy,
Yes.
and Princess Mononoke is like a really good fantasy movie. It basically features like a lot of like Japanese mythology
Yes, and I
and
love Japanese
yeah
mythology, so I took
and
interest
yeah
of it real quick.
yeah, and it's really good. And if you guys are fans of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, watch Princess Mononoke because
Hit,
you'll pick up so many different references if you love playing that game
hit,
from
hit,
that movie.
hit.
Also and actually my favorite animated movie like ever is Akira.
Akira.
Yeah, have you ever seen
Wow.
Akira?
No, I heard of it, but it's a really well-known.
It's one of it's one of those things that happened in anime in the 80s that completely changed anime for like all time, because before 1980s anime was so completely different. Like anime was a lot
Everyone
like
knows of the how it
yeah.
is. You don't need to go to the
Yeah,
whole.
but if you don't understand, think about like so anime back in the day was more like Speed Racer and like that kind of anime, and then like in the 1980s everything changed because like new genres and new shows started appearing and it just completely changed everything. And Akira is one of those things that helped like evolve anime into like what it is today. Because like we wouldn't have things like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that without Akira. And Akira also is like if you love sci-fi, Akira is also like it's a great movie for you to watch. So well made. Like the animation, like the way that they use light in the movie because this isn't live action, so they just can't put lights in the movie. They
Uh-huh.
have to animate and paint all the lights, and the way that they use light in that movie is so genius. And let's see other anime. Now I'm just starting to like now I'm just kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Well, I did like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Like that's one that you recommended to me.
Yeah,
I thought I was really gonna hate it, but I actually watched like the whole season and I didn't like cringe. Well, I did cringe at some
there
points,
is a second
but
season, by the way.
oh well, we have to watch it. But like that first
Yeah,
season, I really enjoyed it. I really liked how it subverted um
your expectations.
the expectations because I thought it was gonna be hella stupid and hella cringe. Um, and but speaking of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, like the last anime that I'll mention that I like is an anime from the 80s called and I'm gonna botch the title.
Do you know the English name?
No, it doesn't have like an English name because
Ah, I see.
it's never been like dubbed
Ah, okay,
in
gotcha,
English. It's
gotcha,
called
gotcha.
Yasurai Yatsura. Urasai Yatsura.
Yurusai Rakshara.
So Urasai Yatsura, like Akira and like Dragon Ball, it's one of these influential animes that help define like a whole genre of anime. So if you ever watched like something like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid or High School DxD or like these shows where like the main character is like a dude or like a normal person and then they have like a magical girlfriend or something
Oh my
like
god. You
y-
just matched like
use
almost half of my anime list right
yeah
there.
uh Yuzura Yatsura, Urasai Yatsura is the anime that started like that whole genre. But what it does differently from from those other animes is that the main character is an asshole. He's a scumbag, and like the girlfriend that he gets like punishes him like every episode because of him being a fucking scumbag. And so it's very funny.
Beautiful.
So that's the end of my list. How about you?
Well, I have few, but I'm not gonna name all of them. But the one that really inspired me to be a weeb, High School DxD. Number
Okay.
one, we did a podcast of it. It was episode one, which happy watched the
Mm,
whole thing.
no, episode 1 was My Hero.
Oh
That was
no, it was
episode 3.
episode three. Yes, episode three. I forgot. I
Okay.
just love it so much that it should be episode one. So High School DxD is one of them. Have you ever heard of Two Level series? Toblerone
Mm,
Love, Toblerone Darkness.
you're just like saying like things that I've never even heard of.
Okay, yeah. So the Tubaru, I'm gonna say the Tubaru Love series. I love them, all of it.
Yeah.
The one that I really like kicked me into watching anime a lot is Zero no Tasna. I probably
Mm.
butchered the name, but it's Zero no Tasna, or in the English name is the Familiar of Louise the Zero.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the English name of it. Louis, the Familiar of Louise the Zero. It's a good series. If I remember correctly, it had four or five seasons in, but unfortunately, the creator of Zero no Tasma has passed away, which I was very sad when I heard that he passed away because I really loved his
Mhm.
series. I think if I remember correctly, he passed away in nine in the 19 I think in the 20s in 2010 or something, if I
Oh.
remember correctly.
Oh,
That's when I
okay.
was 10 years old. I haven't heard of the series yet, but when I hit to high school, when I found out about it, I was so happy watching it. And then when I was wondering when a new season's gonna come out, I found out the author died. I was like, no, it was such a cliffhanger. And I did research on it too. It was supposed to, like, in the scene, I'm gonna spoil the final season, the final scene. What
Mhm.
happened is a little spoiler if you haven't seen it, is when the main protagonist and his female partner finally ended her world's conflict. He took her to his world to live there and have a life there. And it was supposed to go a whole generic, him going back to school, him having Louise there, all his friends from Louise's world comes out as well to experience his world, and it goes on and on, and he has more antics going on, but his life gets better because he was known as a geek in his
Mhm.
world, a loser. But since he came back with Louise and has soaring techniques and all that, he came really really popular, and he gets like the famous girls to go talk to him. Louise didn't like that, and it has a whole dramatic. And then it was supposed to end right there, and then it was supposed to go on another season. If I remember correctly, it was supposed to have a conflict with her world and his world not mixing too well, and it's destroying their universes. So they had to return everyone back because in that time, everyone from Louise's world went to his world, and everyone from their world went to her world, and they mixed their worlds together. And the world balance was disturbed so much that it was gonna collide the worlds and destroy everything. So they had to get everyone from both sides to go back to their proper worlds, which sucked so much. Which in the ending scene, it was supposed to have Louise and him saying their final goodbyes, closing the world portal, which fixed everything. And then the final episode was supposed to go, but years later, him living his own life, not married at all, because he still
Him
believed
living
that,
his best life.
yeah, living his best life. But in the end, the world, a portal opened to him when he was in his house, and it finally reveals Louise as a grown woman. And I'm not gonna spoil it because you will see her siblings. She looks exactly like one of her siblings, very beautiful, very huge. And Saito went back to him, which the main character's name is Saito. He went back to her, and they finally lived happily ever after. The final scene is him and his kids having fun while Louise and him sitting down enjoying life.
All right.
And it's
Okay.
supposed to end it like that, but they couldn't continue it because they didn't know how
Oh,
he wanted to
so
play
the
out.
so the author died before.
It actually produced. So I
Yeah.
was so sad. I was so sad because it was so good. I loved it so much. The
Mm.
concept of everything, the whole story, their relationship going up and down, their rivals, everything. Oh my god, it was so beautiful. I wish it could have
Mhm.
continued. I wish so much it would have
In,
continued. And it wasn't a manga
interesting.
neither. It was spot on point. He created the story on the spot, had it all produced it and put out. No manga, no nothing. He had
Really.
made all of it. So that's why they couldn't continue it at all, because they didn't know what direction he wanted to make it into.
Really,
So
because
they just cut it.
that's really interesting because if that were like say like a Hollywood produced like show, like they would say like, "Oh, fuck the creator's wishes. We'll just do whatever."
Yes,
And so it's
exactly.
it's it's really yeah, it's really
I'm
surprising
so I'm
that they
so
actually
happy.
respected like his like wishes. Well, not like his wishes, but they respected like his input and his creativity enough not to tamper with it.
Yeah, it was so good, and I wish that it continued. I wish that haven't died yet until he was able to finish his masterpiece, because it
Yeah.
was supposed to last for 2 more seasons after the season his original season died out. He was supposed to last for 2 more seasons, and after that he would have been done and easy, and he would have done more, or he would have just passed on like he did. So
Really?
I am really sad that he wasn't able to finish his masterpiece.
Okay.
And also,
what was the show called again?
Zero No Tesma, or
Zero
in
No
the English
Tesma.
is Louise the familiar of the Louise the Zero.
Okay. All right. So is that like your favorite anime of all time?
Yes, because
Ooh,
it's a
wow.
series that it should have continued, but it died. But everyone knows of only Louise, the Louise
Mhm.
character, because she's a tsundere, always going baka
Tsundere.
baka baka.
Uh,
So the
and
only
yeah.
only people only knows of that series of Louise, but I've been finding out like more memes and memes of that anime's been revealed so much now. It's like, are they showing love to this series now? Because it should be given so much more love that is being given right now. Because my God, that anime is so good, and I wish it continued on.
So, other than that one, do you wanna tell us some more of your favorite animes before we go into the next question?
Um, no anime from those I have said has
Mhm.
really took peak interest of me.
Okay.
I only the animes that I only choose are animes that took peak interest of.
Okay.
Like all the animes I just wrote out are the ones that took peak interest of me and I really liked very much. I haven't found an anime that took my peak interest skyrocket like those animes before. But in the future, I may get more animes that I like. But those are my top animes that I love so much, dear to my heart,
Okay.
because it piqued my interest so much that I loved it.
All right. So let's go on to the next question. What is your favorite non-anime TV show?
Non-anime TV show.
Because I
Ooh,
got a
okay,
couple.
I got a couple. I can name them
Mhm.
right now and quick.
Go ahead.
Ben 10.
Okay.
Good
Good.
show. Loved it.
Interesting
And
choice.
yeah, Ben 10.
Didn't expect that one.
Yep, Ben 10 really good. I loved it. Watched the entire series, the whole Ben 10 series. Watched it. I really didn't like the change of it, but it was okay. Um, Steven Universe. Everyone knew
Ah.
of Steven Universe. Liked it. It was like it hit my peak interest.
Yeah, it's a
It was
pretty good
something
show.
new. Yeah, it was new. It was different, and it took my peak interest. It was one of the good TV shows that I liked.
Yeah,
Um,
it really did like a lot of things that you wouldn't expect kids TV to do.
Yeah, and there's actually a dark lore it was supposed to happen with Steven Universe. You want to
Uh,
hear it, or you want me to
Well, I
save
just
it for another
well,
time?
maybe save it for another time. I don't want this episode to be too long, but I will
Okay,
say this:
gotcha.
even though Steven Universe is not my favorite, I do appreciate what the LGBTQ representation that it always
Yeah,
had.
so much of it. I support that.
Yeah, and
Eh,
any other non-anime shows that you like?
Okay, hold on. I'm thinking of it right now. I don't remember the name of it. Ah, shit. Okay, next one. What was that one TV show? What was it? What was it called? What was it called? Super
Fam-
Monkey Happy Team
Oh.
Happy First Go.
Wow, you're
Super
pulling
Monkey
you're
Happy
pulling out
Team
some
Happy
deep
Times
cuts
Go.
here.
Let's go. Yeah, I love that one.
Really? Wow. Okay.
What was the other one? What was the other one? That was the one I couldn't remember. That's what
Yeah.
I had to think. I had to play the theme song in my head, like so that's how I remembered it. What was the other one? What was the other one?
Any like live action shows, like any kind of like sitcoms or like
Oh, TV shows. Okay. What was the one I was watching? The Flash, The
Flash?
Arrow,
Okay.
Supergirl.
All right.
Legends of the
Legends of Tomorrow?
Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow. What was the other called? The Hulk series, the Hulk cartoon series.
Okay.
The Iron Man, the original Iron Man series that was
Yeah,
out
the one
for
from the 90s,
yeah.
yeah.
From the 90s.
Yeah, the one that goes
Um,
I
am
Iron Man. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Which one was it? What was one? Sonic X.
Sonic X.
Yeah, the classic one.
Spectacular Spider-Man.
Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Man and Friends. There was another one. The Incredible Hulk.
You
series.
mentioned that one?
Yeah. Okay. What is that? Kogias. Kogias.
Oh, that's
Kogias. Yes, there you go.
That's-
It's actually on
that's
Netflix
one.
right now. I'm
Yeah.
actually currently rewatching all Kogias. It hit my nostalgia real quick. I love it.
Oh, I forgot to mention another anime. First season of Attack on Titan.
Oh,
Just
yes!
the first season. I haven't seen the rest, but I
Man,
love the first
I
season.
have. They're dragging on the series too much, but it's
Of
still
course.
good. It's still good, but they're dragging it a little
I don't know. That
bit
first
too
season
long.
was awesome.
The neck of that perfect horse is drawn a little bit too long. Just for a meme out there, you guys. Alright.
So you don't really watch like a lot of like live action shows?
Not
Well,
really.
well, you mentioned like Arrow and Flash.
Yeah, the whole
and-
all of those.
But
Marvel.
you're not into like any kind of like shows like say like Seinfeld or Friends or Big Bang Theory,
I
How I Met Your
recently-
Mother.
I recently have started watching Friends and How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, really?
A year ago, but I haven't watched all of it. I've been watching bits
Well,
and pieces of it.
How I Met Your Mother, the ending is really disappointing.
Okay, I heard they're doing
Uh,
How I Met Your Father.
I don't know. I don't really want to watch How I Met Your Father because How I Met Your Mother just left such a horrible taste in my mouth that I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I just can't. I can't even with that show.
All right.
Any other shows before I give my answers?
Nope. Go ahead.
Uh,
That's the top of my head. I can remember.
So yeah. So I like Seinfeld. Seinfeld is one of my favorite sitcoms. I also like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yes, I heard of that one.
Oh, I got to show you that show. Do you remember the show Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes, I have. That was one of the...
Malcolm in the Middle might be my favorite sitcom. No lying.
You just remind me of a Corey in the House, best anime in live action ever. Corey in the House, best anime.
in the house. It's a party every week, baby.
Corey in the House, best anime in the whole series. I don't give two shits if you don't like it. Best anime in the house.
Oh my god, fuck.
How can I forget about the meme? I actually did
I
see all the episodes.
I follow this one TikTok account where they put like commercials from like old TV commercials, and they did like a Corey in the House commercial where they were premiering this episode where Corey accidentally gives away Alaska back to the Russians, and he has to take it back from the Russians by doing like a Dance Dance Revolution challenge. And I put in the comments, top 10 anime showdowns ever.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Okay, I like do you know the show Twin Peaks?
Nope, never heard of it.
Okay, on the list. I'm not gonna say too much
On
about
the list?
it.
Oh,
but
God.
if you know
Oh,
it,
no.
you know it.
No, guys, save me. Spoil it in the comments. Spoil it. I don't want to watch it.
Okay, and then some from my childhood. I really loved Ed, Ed and Eddie.
My cousins. How can I forget about my cousins? Yeah, that's one of the shows
Ed
I
and
like to
Eddie.
watch
That's
as well.
that's probably like my favorite Cartoon Network show.
If you guys don't know why I say my cousins, I will reveal that little later
Yeah.
on when I feel comfortable about it.
What else? And actually, I watched a lot of TV as a kid. And I can't
Well,
believe I'm
actually,
blanking.
my Twitch chat should know why I say my cousins. So if you don't know, you should go to my Twitch.
Oh, son of a bitch! I can't even remember the shows I used to watch as a kid. The Simpsons. I love The Simpsons.
That's a classic. Yes.
Seasons 1 through 10. Classic, Untouchable. South Park. I really love South Park.
Never heard of it, and it's on the list.
Oh my god, you fucking okay. Family Guy. I know like a lot of people don't
yeah.
like Family Guy.
Yeah,
I still watch it.
There's actually. Have you seen that one clip that Family Guy did with Meg and Chris again?
You have to be more specific. There's a lot with Megan Chris.
The newest one. Where
no,
Chris
I don't
said,
think
when
so.
Lois says, "Hey guys, ready for breakfast?" Like, no time, Mom. There's a new student's having morning practice. I like whatever she said, and then Meg is like, "Sorry, can't. I'm actually the girl he's actually stalking. I can't help by getting
Oh.
attention." And then Stewie's like, "Let's forget about what I just seen."
Okay.
My God, what's with them and Chris and Meg? They're always referencing them doing something disgusting with each other.
Well, they're
incest.
they're very gross characters. What can
Incest. There are lots of incest. A lot of tag people out there will love that.
I say? Any other TV shows that I like? Oh my god, now I'm blanking. The original Batman the Animated Series. I like that
Oh
one.
yes, I've seen those. I even have a DVD somewhere in my house.
I really like that. Let's see if I can remember one more. I used to be really into like sketch comedy shows like Saturday Night Live. Not so much anymore because I just don't think that Saturday Night Live is funny anymore. But I used to that used to
Oh
be my
yeah, I
show.
remember you like watching it every Saturday.
Yeah, that used to be my show like back in the day, like from like 20 from like 2007 to about like 2013.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
would
right.
I would watch it religiously, but now but like, at a certain point like all my favorite cast members left and the writing they changed the writers, so it's not the same anymore. So, yeah. So next question. Favorite video games.
Oh, sir, you can see the collection right now. I know the chat, the people in YouTube cannot see it, but you can see the collection. I got Deadpool, I got Call of Duty 2, Batman, Lego Batman, Battlefield 4, Starhawk, Golden Eye 007, Defiance, Call of Duty 4, Get This Party Started, Battlefield 3, Armor Code 5, 4. Dark Souls 1 and 2, Mass Effect, Red Action, Wavering Wars, Just Dance, Time Criticals, Blazing Storm, God of War Collection Series, Killzone 1 and 2, Rock and Roll 2, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Recon, Ghost Recon, Call of Duty Ghost. That's all from the PS3, and
Call of Duty 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Stop it. And then for the PS4, there's Minecraft, Prey, Star Wars Battlefront, VR games out there.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, Miles Morales as well. Spider-Man. The new VR game that came out for Star Wars, I think is Onto the Drone. Minecraft, Second Son, Call of Duty World War II. Yeah. Fall Guys, it was very popular until Among Us took over.
Among Us. Any other ones before I give my
hold up.
answer?
The Link Saga, the Sonic games.
Oh, Sonic.
Link,
Yep.
Mario Brothers, all those Mario games. I played them all.
The Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I played them all.
Super Smash.
Super Smash as well. I have the Nintendo Switch actually. Mario Kart, all that.
Do you like fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
Yes. On the I think I do have the game. I think I have it somewhere. Yeah. Well, I have Mortal Kombat as well. I'm not really good in it, but I played it just for the enjoyment of it.
Yeah. Any other ones?
The new game that has been out and I've been playing a lot, Genshin Impact.
Yep.
I've been playing that in stream. That's like my main thing. I always play in stream.
It's like anime Zelda.
Yeah, that's the main game I've been streaming whole time.
Although Breath of the Wild is pretty anime too.
Yes, it is. Also, if you guys never heard of Titanfall 2, Titanfall 2 is a very good game.
Oh yeah, Titanfall. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been playing it because not a lot of people played it. Because it's been losing popularity. It's gone now.
What studio makes Titanfall? Because I think the studio is very familiar.
I think it was Naughty Dog. I think I'm not 100% sure.
Because
to be honest, I'm not really 100%
because I thought it was made by the same people who made Destiny.
Destiny. Hold up. Let me search it up.
But like Destiny is not as popular as it was before.
Respawn Entertainment.
And EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you see it is from Respawn Entertainment and EA Sports. Yep, there you go.
Okay, so should I give my answer?
Yeah, go for it. That's all of the games that
mine is gonna be shorter because I'm not that big into like video games. Obviously like Mario and Zelda. Favorite 3D Mario is probably Mario Odyssey, and favorite 2D Mario is probably Super Mario World. Favorite 3D Zelda, I'm gonna say it. I know I might get some hate. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Fight me, haters.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Oh yeah, but like a lot of people have like a lot of nostalgia for Ocarina of Time.
Crap. I gotta go take this. Sorry.
All right, I'll just keep talking. Way to hit the mic.
Sorry.
Legend of Zelda, favorite 2D Zelda is a Link to the Past. I think that's the best 2D Zelda I've ever played. Doom. I like Doom. I like those old. I like the old ones that were on PC, the ones that you can play on the computer. I like the old Doom movie, not movies, video games. Very violent. Street Fighter 2. I really like Street Fighter 2.
I'm
Um,
sorry to interrupt. You
what?
know that meme that I'm here to call for your car extended warranty? That just happened to me right now.
Oh fuck.
I just end the call the second I heard hello. I'm here to for the call for your car extended warranty. I just instantly hang up. So continue. Sorry.
So yeah, I mentioned that I like the Doom video games. I like Duke Nukem. Do you know Duke Nukem? It's also kind of like in the same vein as Doom, but
No,
it's
never heard of it before.
oh, look up Duke Nukem. If you, I think, there's you can buy the Duke Nukem games, the ones from the '90s, I believe on Steam and the Nintendo Switch eShop, and I believe the PlayStation Store. So if any of you guys want to check them out, you can buy them pretty cheap if you have any of those consoles. Super Smash Brothers. I like Super Smash Brothers. And Mario Kart, and that's pretty much it. I'm trying to get into some other franchises. Like I recently purchased Final Fantasy VII, so I can't wait to take a crack at that. Um, but yeah, those are my games. Let's see. I already mentioned TV shows. What's your favorite movie? Any movie that sticks out? Like it has to be just a movie. It can't be like a TV show.
A movie that sticks out to my mind.
Like what's that one movie that you like to put on like always just to like put you in like a good mood, or like what's that one movie that just just like hits you in like the right emotions, or leaves you like satisfied?
To be honest, I don't have a favorite movie.
You don't have a favorite movie? Do you have like movies that you just enjoy?
Well, recently I've just been going to nostalgic lane and just rewatch all movies from my childhood: Shrek, Shrek 2, Shrek 3, Shrek
Okay.
4. I've been watching all of the nostalgic movies in my childhood, like Rio, Wally, all of it. I've been watching nostalgic
Okay.
stuff.
Can I
I've just
ask
been doing it.
well, can I ask you this?
Yo, what's up?
Let's fuel the DreamWorks versus Disney debate. What's your favorite DreamWorks and what's your favorite Disney movie?
DreamWorks.
And I'm also including Pixar movies for Disney because they still count.
DreamWorks.
Because remember, DreamWorks is Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, How to
Kung Fu
Train
Panda.
Your...
There you go.
Oh, really? Because that's my favorite too.
Yep, there you go.
Oh yeah, Kung Fu Panda. I love that one. The first one is my favorite.
Yeah, because it was the original core
yeah.
of how it made it beautiful.
Disney. What's your favorite Disney movie?
Disney.
Like it could be anything. It could be like the classic ones, like Lion King, or it could be like one of the newer ones. Well, whichever like Disney movie, like animated Disney movie you like.
The one thing that's coming to my mind was Lion King and Toy Story.
Lion King and Toy Story. Those are good choices.
Yeah, those were the two that came right out of my mind.
If I were to choose my favorite Disney movie, it would be Fantasia. Do you know Fantasia?
No, I have not.
It's one of like their early ones. I think it's like the third movie they ever produced. And it basically doesn't have a story. It's just like a collection of short films that are animated to classical music. So yeah, so that's my favorite Disney movie. All right.
Ah, cool.
But like in terms of like other movies that I really like some of my favorite movies are like, Goodfellas. I like this movie called Sunset Boulevard from 1950. I'm right now getting back into this director David Lynch. Do you know who David Lynch is?
No, I have not.
He's this director. He started working in like the 1970s, and he makes just like these weird ass movies. And I've been just getting back into him. Okay. I've just been really getting back into him. So yeah, Mulholland Drive. Yeah. So final getting to know you question. What's your favorite hobby besides like anime and video games?
Fuck. Well, you just scooched the pooch right there, son.
You don't have any other hobbies besides that?
Hold up. The one thing the hobby I had during high school, I stopped doing it because of life. I used to draw.
Oh, that's a good hobby.
Yeah, I used to draw. You could see a portrait of what I drew, a Donut King over there. A
Okay.
beautiful motherfucker over there.
Uh,
Sexy as hell.
I've been recently getting into like music. So I'm trying. Well, it's less of a hobby, more like just like me teaching myself music. So that's something that I do besides like watching like shows and like playing video games. So I like that.
Yeah,
So yeah.
so just to let you guys know, I'm not really good at drawing. I used to draw okay during high school, but I haven't drawn at all since I stopped drawing out of high school.
Yeah.
But my co-host can tell you that I draw pretty okay.
Yeah. Well, so that's basically the end of the getting to know you section. Now let's just get into like the actual thing that we're going to be reviewing.
Oh my god, it's been so long. It's been 84 years.
Okay. So let's get right into it. Okay, so today's episode is we're going to be reviewing the first two seasons of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, or its alternative title, That Time I Got Reincarnated
By
as
the
a Slim
Slim
Shady.
Shady. Yeah, my co-host likes calling it like the Slim Shady. I don't know why, but it brings a smile to my face.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Can you describe to us what the show is about?
So the show is about a guy being killed in isekai to a fantasy world, like the generic thing. But the way he died is pretty hilarious. We've been joking around about it so many times.
Well, cuz it just kind of happens out of nowhere.
It does, but you guys had to watch it yourself because we've
Yeah.
been talking this so much when we were
Because
watching this.
he gets like killed. Like, well, I do have to mention we are gonna spoil
A
the
little
show.
bit, but not a
Yeah.
lot. But he does get killed in the most dumbest way. Like we thinking to ourselves, like, wait, he didn't have a purpose for doing that. He just did it and just
Yeah,
dips. But you gotta see what he did and how he died. It's the most dumbest thing of how he happened.
it's hilarious. It's gruesome and hilarious at the same time. But also,
But I just love
but
that
also
his-
confusing because you're just like, what the hell did just happen? We were just having like a normal conversation, and then this.
Yeah, this just happened. Who committed this thing? Who gave permission for this bullshit to happen? Anyways,
All right.
continue on. He dies. Obviously, he dies. Gets isekai. He still has all his memories, and he becomes the most weakest boss monster in every video game in fantasy world.
Yeah,
A slime.
yeah, he gets reincarnated as a slime, like the title suggests.
Yes.
And what's interesting about this part of the series is that these first couple of episodes feel like a video game.
It does. It is a video game to him,
Yeah,
but in reality, it's all real life and all that.
Yeah.
But you know,
but just sort of like the way that the story like rolls out, the way that it unfolds is like that first episode feels like you're like the tutorial of like an RPG where like you start off as like so like low powered and he doesn't have like any abilities and like all he can really do is just move and explore.
Exactly.
And then
So-
he gets gifted abilities later on.
yeah. So later on, he literally spawns in a cave where slimes are naturally spawn the most in
Yeah.
caves, but he's the only one in that cave. So
That he knows of.
that he knows of, yeah. So he goes on into the world eating everything because slimes are known for eating all shit and dissolving it into their bodies. But the thing is different with him. He was taught to the world voice, which in the game, which in this world is well known by all the characters in this world, saying this war voice has given me power, has given me a skill. So this war voice, before transferring him over, he said multiple things when he was dying, and in sense, the world voice gave him those powers. Like for just to name a few, heat resistant, cold resistant, regeneration, pain, nullifying pain,
Yeah.
no blood, no blood, no loss, any of that. That's why he turned into a slime, and the world voice gave it to him, and he goes through this whole cave, fighting monsters, eating them, and then he figured out once he eats a monster, he gains the monster's abilities, and also to be able to
Just
mimic them.
just like a little round pink character that we all know and love.
Stop it. All right. So yeah, he goes to this cave, eats everything, gets more abilities, and he eats like plants that gives healing. He eats ores that can be turned into weapons. He eats anything because he's bored as fuck. He's
Yeah.
really bored as fuck. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just going around.
But he meets somebody really important to him that really like affects his new life.
Yes, but he doesn't show up until season 4.
No, I mean the dragon.
I know, but I'm saying that we don't meet him until.
No, but he meets like the dragon, and the dragon is like, he's like not in prison, but he's like in a crystal.
He's in a imprisoned dome, which a hero sealed him in because he accidentally, in quotes, destroyed a town.
Yeah. Oh yeah. and and so they like fuse together, right?
No, so one of the Rimuru's OP abilities is called gluttony. When he first starts out, his ability is called gluttony, which he eats everything and he can extort it into his dimensional stomach, like someone we know in a game,
Yeah.
Pink and Round. Shut up.
So
So he promised to free him by analyzing the prison he's in and destroying it and releasing him. So what he did was he ate him inside his stomach to break the prison. And in that time, he will be alive. He will be still living and all well inside this bubble. But what he didn't know caused a very big effect happening outside, because in this world, this dragon, which its name is Midoriya, if I remember correctly.
I thought his name was Tempest.
No, that's the last name they share.
All right.
Rimuru Tempest, Midoriya Tempest, or Storm Dragon is well known
Yeah, let's
for.
just call him Storm Dragon.
Storm Dragon, yes. So the Storm Dragon, before them parting ways while Rimuru eating him, they exchanged names, which Tempest. So Rimuru was originally was named by the Storm Dragon called Rimuru. So he took that name as Rimuru Tempest. And that was his new name. He was well known. And in this world, if you give a monster a name, they evolve. So Rimuru was just this normal slime with not that much power at all.
Yeah.
But now, since he was named, he gained more power.
Yeah.
So he was able to evolve himself a little bit forward.
Yeah, and then so after that, he pretty much like escapes like the cave, and he goes through like the cave, defeating like big monsters, like these big bugs and these spiders and all these other creatures, and it really feels like a video game, like if you were playing like an RPG.
Yeah, it really shows them, because once we meet like characters or like unexpected groups, they have like a black box saying you were just invaded, or new party members just arrived.
Exactly.
Like they show all that is making it like a game wise, which is pretty good. So he goes through this whole cave. He finally finds the entrance of this cave, and 3 adventurers went in, and they were tasked to find out what happened to the dragon, because the dragon's energy aura was being expelled from the prison, because the prison's main objective was take all his energy and expel it out.
Yeah.
That's why the cave inside he had so many old magical ores that was good for weapons and all that.
Yeah.
Because it had so much. I just gotta call it manga. I know it's not called manga.
Don't you mean mana?
Yeah, mana. So mana.
Yeah.
The cave had so much mana that it created magical ores and all that, and that prison was absorbing all that mana and expelling it out. So once his aura disappeared, these 3 adventurers were told to go search and find out what happened.
Right.
And so Rimuru took that chance to run away, to explore the world. And he explored the world. He was all exploring. He's happy to see the sunlight. And then he meets
the goblins.
The goblins. They were terrifying him at first, but later on he helped them. He stopped their problem, which these wolves
they
were killing them.
Yeah, they were being attacked by these wolves, and and in a way, like his fight with the wolves is kind of like his like mini boss battle. Like it's like he's completing like the first level of his adventure.
Yeah,
Like that wolf is like the first boss he defeats.
yeah. So after defeating them and saving the goblins from them, the wolves submitted to him, saying that he
Yeah.
will be the leader of their pack. So he combined the two packs and made a town, and he gave them jobs and things to do. But they hit a certain point where they couldn't do properly is making homes
Yeah, and also like clothes. They
and
didn't have.
clothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the one thing they did do, he gave them all names, which we
Which
can't name them all because there's
Yeah.
so many of them. So he named each one of them. The one he sticks the closest is the elder. I forgot his name.
Yeah, so like there's this elder of this goblin village. Like again, Rimuru, Tempest, he gives them all names, and in this world, once like a creature is given a name, they're able to level up essentially. So
Evolve.
they go or evolve. They're well level up because it is kind of like a video game. So they're able to evolve into like the next form of their species. So like they go from goblins to hobgoblins. And so in their goblin form, they're scrawny and they're skinny and they're frail. But in their hobgoblin form, they're more buff, more athletic. Some of them are like really like, big, ripply muscles.
Handsome, beauty,
Yeah.
sexy.
except
There's
for
a lot of.
except for one character. One character, even though he got a name, he stayed the same.
Oh my God, the Muppet Man.
Yeah, the Muppet Man himself. What was his name?
Goblet.
Goblet. Okay.
Goblet.
All right.
The Muppet Man.
Yeah.
We don't call him as Goblet. We call him as the Muppet Man.
Yeah, because he looks like a Muppet. He looks
Yeah,
like
when
he
you
looks like
see-
fucking Elmo.
Yeah, when you see the anime, you will know when we were talking. His name is Goblet, and we call him the Muppet Man.
Muppet Man.
The Muppet Man's still alive. He eats some food and got poisoned, died. But we found out
yeah.
that he lived because he's the Muppet Man.
So once they discover that they can't make any clothing or any buildings, they decide to go to this one city.
The Goblet, the dwarf's hometown.
Yeah, to get some help. To help rebuild their society, and so they go there. They run into some trouble first. At the entrance of the city, they run into like some thugs
That cause problems because
that cause problems.
But
Yeah.
once they entered their domain, no fighting of monsters and humans are allowed. So they took it into an opportunity to fight outside
Yeah.
of the door, so they can cut in line because
Yeah,
when he first saw them, there was a slime and a goblin
Yeah.
goblin
and a wolf too.
and no,
Well, they
no
were
wolf. They
oh,
were
no wolf?
Yeah, remember they were told to stay behind so it doesn't
Oh,
look
yeah,
like they're
yeah.
evading or attacking.
Yeah. So like in this world, monsters are there's like a prejudice against monsters. They're looked at as like less than humans. So monsters get pushed around and they get attacked often.
Yes, so but the Goblet King is like basically there are monsters, but they still look like humans, so they're still being given the right of humane
Yeah.
rights and all that. But the Goblet King respects monsters and everything of them because elves are also monsters.
Yeah.
Wolf creatures are still humanoids and have mind and hearts and all that. So he was trying to break the barrier between humans and monsters, which it worked, but it doesn't really work that well because they're still predators after they get out of the kingdom.
Yeah, and so they get into this fight. Rimuru is able to fight off the bullies, but because of their fight, they get thrown in prison, and so Rimuru is thrown in prison, and his little goblin friend Muppet Man, he's all tied up in a spider web in
Because
the
he
jail
was bored
cell.
because he was
Yeah.
sleeping the whole entire time.
And then so he's sleeping the entire time that they're incarcerated.
So
Yeah.
before they were left there in the prison because they were gonna ask questions. That's why the reason why they were arrested. They wanted to ask questions, but Rimuru was inside this barrel because he was a slime, and they were afraid of him slipping away and running away from his crime. There was an incident in the caves of a monster breaking into their caves, and several got injured. One lost their arm, and they need healing potions. But when they went to go help and get healing potions,
But supplies were like really low.
yeah, they didn't have no healing potions. They didn't have nothing. So Rimuru offered a hand and fill up the whole barrel of healing potions that he creates himself, because he ate a bunch of plants that that was created to make the healing potions.
Yeah,
So
and
the guard was hesitant from actually taking it from it because he didn't know it was a trick or not.
Yeah.
Because that barrel was the only reason why he was being kept inside and not escaping. So he took the trust. It's like, all right, fuck it, we'll take the barrel. But he told him to stay inside the prison. Don't try to escape. And it's like, okay. So he just stays in the prison to show good faith.
yeah, and then after, let's just skip over a little bit. So then later on, he meets this dwarf blacksmith that he wants to recruit in order for him to help him with his town. But this blacksmith has a problem that that the army of the city,
The minister.
yeah, the minister who runs the army of the city wants him to create like all these like weapons and swords
No,
for the
one
army.
Pacific sword.
Well,
A
once
magical sword that boosts your energy output.
Yeah, but like the point is like it's hard for him to make so many, and so Rimuru helps him out by copying, duplicating the sword that he already made, and he's able to like fulfill his obligations, and so and then he meets the dwarfs like
That
what
he
are
saved.
they?
Yeah, the brothers.
Oh,
The
so they're
triplets.
brothers. Okay, so he meets also these brothers who agree to join with him.
Yeah, after some happened in their town, which you had to watch to see what happened. So they went, all four of them went with him to the Goblin settlement. They started right away building homes, making armor, making clothing, all of that. They were creating all of it, and they were doing pretty well. They had somewhat hut homes for starters for homes,
Yeah, they
and they were
yeah.
gaining pretty good. They're evolving. They were going good, and then again, these three adventurers we first saw met with them because they heard that they wanted to. Their commissioner asked them to go out to the forest to see if anything has changed since the storm dragon has disappeared.
Yeah, and it's really obvious that because of the storm dragon disappearing, the slime is able to like rebuild this community for the goblins. So let's start. Let's sort of like quickly go through the rest of like season one. So what else happens in season one to get us?
They meet the first human that was taken over there. I forgot what was her name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. This one character, like at the beginning of the show, we get like a flashback to World War II in Japan, and we see that there is a bombing raid happening in this one town, and this girl gets caught in between like a bombing campaign, and but she gets sucked up by this fire, and she gets transported into this world, the same world that Rimuru is in, and so she's like the first human to for that to happen to, and I mentioned to you that because anime is a post-war creation,
She was the first one to never be corrupted.
yeah, she has never been corrupted with anime before because she lived in World War II, and anime really wasn't a thing until after the war. Yeah, so they meet her. What also happens during season one? What were like the big story events in season one?
She was so they had after fixing the situation that happened with the adventurers. Something big happened. They had a fight. It was Rimuro's second boss battle, which he succeeded and won. He finally gained a physical form, a human physical form,
Yeah.
which you guys have to watch because it breaks a lot of like so much of the spoiler.
Yeah.
So much of it. So after that, he gets a physical form. They say goodbye to the three adventurers, which they met. As a parting gift, they gave them better armor because they were not well off with the
Yeah.
armor. So they gave them better armor and weapons. They went on their way to report to the human settlement that a monster settlement is being created in the forest.
Yep.
After that, they met with these ogres, these orcs.
Oh yeah, these ogres. And they fight, and then
because they mistaken Ramiro as a Manjin working for a demon lord that was
yes,
causing them
yes,
problems. So and
Majin
because
Rimuru.
yes, so they thought he was one of the Manjins that killed off their entire clan. Only a handful of them survived, and they fought. And then after noticing that they were wrong, they offered help to get revenge towards Rimuru, which they were hesitant for doing because they were
Yeah.
proud warriors that only bow down to a master that is stronger to them.
Hmm.
So once they saw Rimuru was stronger to them, the head of the clan, the one that survived because his father was killed, but he was able to run away with his sister, which was the princess of it. So and a great handful of them survived, which the elder, which I assume he was also the teacher of the prince,
Yeah.
survived with them and went out. They plead their loyalty to Rimuru until they get their vengeance. And
Mm-hmm.
Rimuru said, "All right, I'm gonna give you guys names." So they all evolved as well, and they were more refined, more elegant look. Because if you see their their monster form, they were more monstery and more tough looking.
Exactly. Yeah, they get an upgrade. So what was the story with the orcs, or as I like to call them,
The
the
Ganons,
Ganons?
yeah. So the Ganons were being puppeteered by the demon lord Clayman.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make a demon chaos lord. I forgot what was the reason why, and they finally found the one, and he just needed to consume a lot of bodies to be able to evolve to it. So Rimuru
Yeah.
teamed up with the Lizardman, which we met one of the dick riders.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's like this.
Gabriel, Gabriel,
Yeah. There's this character
Gabriel.
named Gabiu. He's like the prince of the lizard men.
Yes,
And he's very arrogant, and he has like these three like followers slash friends who are always like hyping him up, cheering him on,
Gabriel,
and
Gabriel.
they're
Gabriel.
so fucking like, and they're like fucking simps for this lizard guy, and they're always fucking riding his dick. It is fucking annoying.
We
But
have a
continue.
word for him, but we're afraid to say it because we may get fucking.
Well, I can say it. He's a dick rider. They're dick riders.
No. Okay.
Okay. No, we're not gonna say. Okay, but continue on. So they team up with the lizard men, and they fight off the Ganons, aka the orcs.
Yeah. So the main reason why the Lizardmen went towards Rimuru area because the Lizardmen was having a problem of them invading their land, and they wanted support by the goblins to help fight it. But Rimuru was also being tasked to do it as well by the forest entity, the Dryad. The Dryad that protects the forest and maintains peace in it. And since she wanted him to take care of it because she sensed he was the strongest among everyone, but Rimuru, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. And then
But afterwards,
yeah.
Grimriel went to their village to recruit recruit goblins. But when they saw they were more evolved and unexpectedly more stronger than they look, they obviously thought it was a trick because they cannot believe a slime is the one
Yeah.
ruling them. So they insulted him. Everyone did not like it and wanted to kick his ass. So they got Muppet Man to go fight him. And Guru,
Exactly, yeah.
and then the Muppet Man won. And when he finally woke up, Grimro, when he finally woke up, said, "Oh, what a foolish trick they did to me. They were lying to me, saying that he wasn't the leader, but he was the leader." It's like he was trying to make excuses, saying to his comrades like they lied. He was actually the leader, so I had my guard down.
Right. And
So afterwards, they finally went back home, fought the goblins. Rimuru joined in, finished the whole fight, and after killing the Ganon, like how he likes to call them,
Los Ganons, yeah.
killing the demon lord Ganon, the orcs had no reason to be with Rimuru no more because they got their vengeance,
yeah.
killing the pigs. So, but afterwards, they sworn loyalty to him.
Yeah.
to work with him, fight with him, and do whatever task he wants to be done, which was agreeable. They all agreed, especially one girl, Sion,
Mm-hmm.
which every king must have their crown with the big giant hungaroos.
Oh my god.
So yeah, they become part of the group. They become part of the group. Their society actually grew so much that they have a hot springs. They have a town. They have systems. They have roads. They have
Yeah.
convenience stands, stores, everything. They have everything set up. Everything was completely set up. But in the final season, the final episodes, Rimuru went over to finish a request of an old friend that he met with the three travelers.
Yeah.
Which her name escapes me right now. I don't remember her name.
But he goes to like teach these kids.
Yeah, it was before she was an adventurer and she retired. She went to teach these kids, which was the same.
How do I reach these kids?
Oh my god! So, she went to go teach these kids because they were in the same solution she was.
Yeah.
She was summoned from their world, and they didn't know how to live. But in this world, they had a condition, a very tragic condition. Any kids that has been spawned in from their world to their world, any kid underneath 5 years old will die 5 years later because of their magic consuming them and expanding way too much and nothing to help them control it. So in 5 years time, they would just they would just
so
pop.
there is a reason for him training these kids.
Yes, Zu, the original teacher, the one that he got the physical form from, was trying to help him and failed. So she can only do was teach them and try to control their magic.
Yeah.
But Rimuru went over to fulfill her last regret promise to save the kids, which he did successfully. And a whole lot of events happened. We got a spirit that was much stronger than anyone expected.
Mm-hmm.
Went into this one girl. In the series, they were told of the girl that he will fall in love with and be together with, and we found out why was that reason.
Okay.
In the anime, but in the manga, I'm way ahead. I know why.
But let's just try to get through the rest of season one.
That season one is almost done.
Okay.
After saving the kids, they went back to the town, and Rimuru left to go back to his nation.
Okay, so let's stop right there for a bit. Let's just discuss season one before we get into season two. Now, when you explained to me the premise of this show, I was at equal parts confused and excited because you mentioned to me that it's a story about a guy who gets reincarnated as a slime, which is totally fucking weird. And then, but you mentioned that he's in this kind of like RPG fantasy world, which intrigued me because I love fantasy. And a few things that really kept me going watching this show is like I liked all the little references to like The Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, even a little bit of like Kirby, Lord of the Rings, and I just really loved like all those little references and all those aesthetics that we saw in the show. I really like the character of Rimuru. I think I like the character more as a slime than I did in the first episode when we see his actual human form. I think the actress, because we watched these shows subtitled, not dubbed. So his original Japanese actress, I think, is a really good fit for his voice. I have a theory that I think in comedy, in more comedy-based animes, it's better to have your protagonist be voiced by a female than a male, because I think the jokes just land a little bit more funnier if it's a female voice actress.
The one thing in this anime, everyone keeps mistaking him as a girl. He's a goddamn fucking guy.
Yeah, because in his physical form, when he finally gets his physical form, it's a very kind of like he has a lot of feminine features, like long hair, a soft face, big eyes. So a lot of people mistake the slime as a female, but really he's a male. So that's something that angers my co-host a lot. I also really like the supporting characters in this show. I really like the goblins. I liked how like they're so committed to the slime. I like a lot of like the adventures that they go on. I liked how he defeated like the wolves and just like the quest that he would go like just like taking like these little quests to help out the goblins and their community. And a lot of the action is really good. It's very like fantasy based action, so it's like a lot of magic powers, a lot of like sword fighting, and that kind of like combat. So I really liked it. Season one, I think it was pretty solid. What did you think about season one?
It was pretty good. It was like it was breaking the boundary of like sci-fi gaming
Yeah,
and and all the good stuff from RPGs.
yeah,
It was really good. I loved it, and I just like the funny thing I like is like a slime being the OP and ruler of a
yeah,
nation.
yeah.
Like
Because you don't expect a character like that. You expect like a Goku type character to be like the leader, but no, it's like this like cute little slime ball. I also really like the comedy. The comedy is really funny because a lot of the comedy comes from just like the interactions with the characters. I like how like the goblins are just so like endlessly devoted. Stop moving the mic so much.
I'm so sorry.
It. I like how like the goblins are just so endlessly devoted to this slime, and like they're so grateful towards him for helping them out. And then just like some of the characters, like we got like that one character, Muppet Man. He um he, uh, he's very tropey. He's a cliche that you see a lot in these new anime series where like he's like the goofy silly character who sometimes is a pervert. Think of like Mineta from like My Hero. So I like that. What do you think about the comedy? I really thought that this one
The
was
comedy
really
is
funny.
pretty good. I really enjoyed the whole comedy of it. It was really good. I like the Muffin Man.
Yeah,
Even
he's
though
good.
that's not his real name.
I know.
We just like calling him the Muffin
Well,
Man.
I like to make like these little nicknames for like all these characters. So obviously he's Muppet Man. The orcs are the Ganons because they remind me of like the original design of Ganon. The slime, I call him Kirby because he's like a little round guy who can absorb things and people.
Yes,
Uh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
so I just like to give like little nicknames to like the characters on this show. The Dick Riders,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Lizard Men.
And
Yeah.
there's one word we cannot say because we don't know how bad it will be if we
Well,
say it.
yeah. Okay, so here's like a problem that I have with a lot of like modern anime. I don't often like the villains that we see in like modern animes. And so I have a word that I describe them, but since we're trying to be PC, I'm going to clean it up a little bit. So
Yes,
I don't
please.
I don't like the fact that most of the villains in modern day anime are just like these emo assholes
Okay,
that
good.
just
That's clean enough.
yeah, that just like they look like these wimpy little anime like douchebags and like I don't think like they're menacing or interesting like at all. And it just feels like they use like the same damn design and the same damn like voice acting every time that we see these villains. But anyways, so there's not a lot to like complain about season one. Season one subverts a lot of like tropes and parodies a lot of like other media such as video games and other fantasy stories. Towards the end, I started to get a little bit bored with like all of the school stuff and like all the classroom stuff because I just felt that it was a little bit too cliche. Like I kind of joked that these kids reminded me too much of like class 1A
One. Oh my
from My
god.
Hero. Like because like there's like a boy, he has like orange spiky hair, and it's like for me it's like if you were to take that character, put him in My Hero Academia, there would be no difference. But yeah, so anything that you didn't like from season one?
Anything I didn't like. I didn't like that they keep treating him like a fucking girl.
Really?
That's the only thing I hated. Like all of these characters that supports Riramo, calling great Riramo, they always give him girl clothing every
Oh my God.
fucking time. He is a goddamn boy. He's a goddamn guy. He
He's
speaks
a
like
man.
a guy.
A
He
man.
died as a guy. He was born as a slime. I know slimes are sexless, but he is a
He-
guy in
he-
mental health.
He a man.
He a man. He no woman.
Okay. All right, so let's get into season 2. Describe to us, like, in a concise way, the story and the plot of
Okay,
season 2.
season 2. I'm gonna go with the whole plot of it, and then we're gonna go
Yeah.
in a little bit details going along the way. So season 2. You guys notice I spoke way too fast now. All right, so season 2. It starts out where we left off on season 2. He leaves the town. He was about to leave town, but before he leave town, there's a little information going on between it. So between him being inside the town teaching the kids, there was a kingdom from, I forgot what it called, Fremonian. Okay, so this is this town that was the main kingdom for employing and exploring products
And materials
and materials everywhere. And then when Rumiro was doing the same thing, well, was much closer, much more safer. So they're losing
Business.
their business routes.
Yeah.
So they were and this kingdom is known to be extremely greedy.
Yeah.
So they were planning a plot to go kill all of these monsters nation
Yeah.
and get back all their money. So that was going on, and then also between that, Rimuru was also having a diplomatic relationship with the Gauntlet King, the Dwarf King, and also having a diplomatic relationship with the demon Lord,
Yeah.
Cleon of the Animal Kingdom, which happened in season 1. Sorry, I didn't mention it, but he also made it official in season 2. So season 1 and season 2 made it official. They were both partnership, and also season 2, the human kingdom that from the 3 adventurers they came from, also make diplomatic relationship with them as well.
Yeah.
And that relation is that if their nation gets attacked, their nation will go and help. If their nation gets attacked, they will go and help. So they had that kind of relationship, and also exploring materials and products and materials and all that, because Rimuru Kingdom made a lot of food, living everything perfect for humans.
Yeah,
And
I got some theories about, like, that part of the story, but I'll let you continue.
So they really want his ideas and involvement to go to theirs. So that's why they make their partnership. After that, Rimuru finally finished talking to the kids and left to go to the nation after helping them do all certain tasks and all that. The whole camping trip and all that, everything. That was a sub series that happened because during that series, the pandemic hit and they could not do anything. So they did a sub series to, like, saying, "Oh, don't worry, guys, we're not forgotten about you guys. Here you go." So after that whole thing, Rimuru try to go back to his nation, but there was someone waiting for him. The head honcho of the holy church went to go kill him, because she was told that her old teacher that he took the physical form from got killed by him brutally, murderized, and took her form as a trophy somewhat. So
it's just like a big misunderstanding.
Yeah, big misunderstanding. She went after to go kill him. She successfully did, but we were revealed he survived. And then after he survived, he went back to his nation, which was under attack. Clayman also had his margin to go cause the chaos as well, because he had a plan to kill them all and become a true demon lord. A demon lord. But it was absolutely failed after Rimuru stopped his whole plan. But at that time, Rimuru went over, saw his nation in chaos, and saw a bunch of dead goblins, dead orcs, dead everything. Whole lot of deadness. And then when he saw the one girl that was his secretary got killed, he lost his shit. He was about to consume them all into his body to stay alive inside of him, all heartbroken and everything. And he was going through the 5 stages of grief at once. If you saw him, he going to, like, denial, acceptance, bargaining, all that. He was going through all of it all at once.
Yeah. This is like when the show really takes a dark turn.
Yeah, afterwards he was told there was a chance for him to save all of them, but it's a very low chance. It was a digits of pi. That's how low his percentage was.
Yeah.
So he took the chance, became Demon Lord, successfully become Demon Lord after killing the kingdom's army, because he needed to take over 30k souls.
Okay.
But the army was enough for him to become a true demon lord. After successfully doing so, he became demon lord. He revived all of the characters that died, and they gained new powers because of it. And after that, he awakens. He freed his old friend, the dragon.
Oh yeah.
He finally freed him, gave him a form. He became alive, and they had a big meaning of him revealing to the public he is announcing as a demon lord.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about this title, but he wants them to know that he's a demon lord.
But what are the repercussions of him being a demon lord? Is he
Humans
gonna
would be more
afraid of him?
more afraid of him, be more cautious. The Holy Church has to be more careful of dealing with him now, since he's a demon lord. Because the original plan was to kill him and all his nation, since they're regular monsters.
Yeah.
But since now Rimuru has announced himself as demon lord, they gotta be careful now, since the demon lord is a high tier.
Because he's an Oni now.
No, since demon lords are like
a Majin. Okay, I'm sorry.
Majins are second class, high-ranking officers working for the demon lord.
He's an Akuma.
My fucking god.
I'm just saying like Japanese demon words, but go ahead.
Yes, I know, which I appreciate. So Ruru announced himself as demon lord. He knows the repercussions, but he's still the same friendly guy. But a bunch of people came towards him to find out his true intentions, because a demon lord has been shown or reborn for so many years. So many people are taking precautions to make sure what kind of demon lord is he. Is he gonna take over the world? Is he gonna just do his own thing, cause chaos? Or
is he gonna pull a Vladimir Putin?
So they had a big meeting. They revealed that the dragon has revealed, but a bunch of people are afraid of the dragon because he is a very cost-efficient type class creature that can kill everyone. So they have a big meeting. Rumo went to a meeting for demon lords. I forgot what was the name of it because it was long and tedious to remember.
Yeah. So he meets the demon lords, but he also encounters this one demon guy. What was his name? Clayman? Yeah, Clayman.
Which was the mastermind causing all the destruction in the forest, because the reason why the orcs became one of the orcs leaders became the demon lord is because Clayman
manipulated him.
Yeah, and destroyed their land. Clayman destroyed their land on purpose, created ogre demon lord, and tried to kill him to become a true demon lord. His whole objective was to become a true demon lord, which failed multiple times because Rimuru keep evading him.
Yeah, and didn't he also send like those 3 guys that attacked Rimuru's city?
Yeah, the Familiar's kingdom.
Yeah.
The kingdom that was greedy as fuck. They all got killed except for one. The one survived because the older guy switched bodies with him and killed him. So
what we're trying to say is like this guy Clayman, he's like the antagonist of like this season. He is like the one guy who really has it out for Rimuru, and he's gonna fuck up all his shit.
But Rimuru had a counter plan and was able to survive that.
Yeah.
And revealed that he was a fraud, which Clayman didn't like, and fought him one-on-one with his attendants.
They caught him in 4K lying.
Yeah. So after the whole battle, he finally got defeated, and then he got awakened. Finally, but Rimuru defeated him, and
he kicked his ass.
Now he's dead, and then the demon lords all came together like, all right, since he's dead, now we have to announce this guy as a demon lord. We all see you as a demon lord. And all that, and then some demon lords stand down and became Marilyn's attendants, which Marilyn is Rimuru's best friend, which you guys will see in this series when you watch it. And then they finally came to a conclusion of Rimuru being a demon lord, and conclusion of the new demon lord, because they were known as the great 10 great demon lords. Now they're known as the Autogram, the 8-star demon lords.
Okay, yeah.
And then that's how the series ends.
All right, so season 2, very interesting. Season 2 goes into like different. It goes into different places in the story than season 1. Season 1 was very much like setting up the world and also parroting and satirizing fantasy tropes and things of that nature. In this season, we don't really see too much of that as we did the last
We
season.
see a lot of death and destruction.
Yeah, because this season
A whole lot of it, baby.
yeah, because this season gets a lot darker and a lot more serious than the last season. But with that being said, I did like certain aspects of season two. I really did enjoy the action. The action was pretty good in this season. The comedy, this one wasn't as funny as the last one, but I did have some unintentional like moments of comedy. Like there was these three characters who attacked Rimuru's um, city, and they killed a lot of people, and they killed some of Rimuru's friends.
Yep, that did happen.
And then when Rimuru and his allies get back together to perform their counterattack, to strategize and take their revenge, uh they they end up defeating these three guys. Well, these two guys and a girl.
Yeah.
But one of the guys, he's able to sneak away, but as he's running away, he's telling Rimuru's friends like, "No, stop. It was just a joke. It was just a prank, bro.
I remember,
It was just a prank, bro." And like he's begging for his life, and he's trying to weasel his way out of his death by saying that, "Oh no, it's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank." It's like killing thousands of people. Oh, that was a prank. Oh, for sure. And so and yeah, so again, like this season, like it takes itself a little bit more serious, and so like the things that I enjoyed about season one, I don't really see in this next season, because I feel like because where I felt that season one was subverting like expectations and satirizing tropes and cliches, I felt like this season leaned in a bit too much on its cliches. Because one part that I really didn't like about this season is like after the attack of the beginning of the season, they go into like a few too many episodes where all they do is just sit around and talk, and like they don't really do that much, and we're introduced to characters that we've barely like know, so I don't really get why we should like care about these characters. But then after that's done, they go into like the demon world, and they have like their little meeting, and then we get to see Rimuru go up against Clayman, who has been the villain like in the background for like season one, and then finally, he starts making moves in season two. And one thing that I do have to say about their fight is that Naruto shows up.
Oh my god.
Well, not Naruto, but like Clayman has like this minion who is like a fire fox. So that reminded me of Naruto. And then also Tempest, the dragon, he gets a human form in this season. And one joke that the one recurring joke that they had this season is that he would always be like off in the corner, like on a couch or just laying on the floor reading manga.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
the dragon Midoriya.
Yeah, he became an otaku, essentially just laying on the floor reading his mangoes.
And he does the classic Hayuken.
Oh yeah, yeah, because he joins them in the final battle, and like his fight moves, his fight moves are literally Street Fighter, because he throws like a bunch of Hadoukens. He does like the spinning kick from Street Fighter, and finally, like the last big attack that he does, this guy straight up performs the Kamehameha.
Kamehameha.
Yeah, like he does the Kamehameha, and it's just like, oh my god! It's like this guy is such a fucking weeb that he does the Kamehameha to fight like his enemies. Like, and I find that very funny, because I always thought like, if I were like ever to make like say like a movie where like say like a character from our world goes into like a fantasy world, I would love for that person to like, like do like all their fighting based on like the shows and movies that he watches. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I thought that was excellent. Again, like one thing that I didn't really like about like season two is that I felt like season two felt too much like just like your standard anime. and I didn't really feel that season 2 was doing many things to make itself stand
But
out.
it had a lot of battles and a lot of death.
It did have that, but what I'm talking about is like one thing that I really liked about season 1 is that season 1 took so much inspiration from different things. It took inspiration from video games, it took inspiration from fantasy tropes, obvious references to like The Legend of Zelda and Lord of the Rings. So it made it unique. It made it a little bit more special than your standard anime. And then in this one, like again, like I said, the villain, he's like this emo bastard that we see in like all these other shows, and like some of the characters like in the background, like they're wearing like maid outfits, and I know that like maids are like a big popular trope in modern anime, and it's like, all right, come on guys, can't we do something a little bit different? Like again, like season 2 really relied upon too many like standard anime like tropes, with like a few things here and there being satirical or being like parody. Like I just wish that they would do something a little bit more unique instead of making me bored with like the standard anime bullshit. But anyways, well, what do you feel about season 2?
Season 2 was really good. It stopped from the genetic stuff and just went fighting.
True.
Fighting. I really like the fighting sequence because it just, I don't like they just stay and just talk all the time.
Yeah.
I just love that when they fought a lot of people.
That's true, because we do get like a lot of big battles in this one, and Rimuru does get like time to shine a lot in a lot of the battles. One thing that did kind of bother me a little bit is that I always felt that Rimuru was always like too much in the background during the fights, and that Rimuru wasn't like always like involved in like the big major events of the fight. Usually I felt that
because he's the leader.
I know, but I always felt like Rimuru would just always like swoop in at like the last minute and just like, do like, use like one of his OP powers to like basically obliterate everything. So like it's fine, like I guess it makes sense in the story, but what I'm saying is like emotionally and like character and writing wise, it kind of doesn't like make me root for Rimuru. Like it doesn't like like when you watch a movie, like say like you watch something like I don't know, the original Star Wars, like you're rooting for those characters to blow up the Death Star because you know that they're like the underdog, that they're the little guys, and they're going up against a big bad guy. And then in this one, Rimuru sometimes is a bit too overpowered, or like we don't get too much of like we don't really connect to Rimuru so much so that it makes us want him to win. We do a little bit in this season because he wants to get revenge on his friends, and that makes sense. And then in the final battle, he does have a grudge against Clayman, so it makes sense. So so you are invested in that fight. But I just felt like in a lot of the fights, they felt a little bit too detached, and I felt that like they were giving more screen time to characters that I cared about less than I did Rimuru. But that's just me.
Well, because at that season they were having a battle. Rimuru was mainly distracting and taking down the main Hocho while they took care of the side stuff and destroying his kingdom.
Yeah, but I feel like they gave a little bit too much a little bit too much focus on like characters and other characters and other story points that really didn't really need all that much attention. I just felt that they could have fleshed out like Rimuru's story a little bit, because if we're gonna be a little bit more serious, I want to be a little bit more emotionally invested in Rimuru, rather than just like the show insisting that everything is all like serious and dark now, and it's not giving me what I liked about season 1, and it's going a slightly different direction. But that's just me. So any final thoughts about season 2?
My final thoughts, it was really good. I can't wait for season 3 to come out, which I already read the manga. I know how dark it gets. It gets really, really dark afterwards, but it still has that wholesome, lovable stuff we still get.
Yeah, so you did mention to me a little bit what direction the manga takes. So I'm really interested to see where season 3 is going to be headed. But just two things. I just hope that they really develop, like if they are going to go much darker, I hope that they really develop the story points and the character arcs that they really need to develop in order for me to like enjoy it. Because if they're not gonna give me like the comedy that I liked from season one, they better damn well give me like some very interesting drama. So that's just like my only worry. And then also, did you notice like in season two that there was like a slight difference in animation
Yes,
uh,
because of the
of the
because of
pandemic? Yeah,
pandemic, they were able to take their time in making it, and
yeah,
they made it more smoothly, and had 3D animations as well.
true. And then also like just like some of like the character animations and just like some of the shading was a little bit different. So there is like a noticeable difference in the quality of animation from season one to season two if you really pay attention to that kind of stuff. But also like a lot of exposition. Like season two just has like a lot of like exposition and explaining and and less like overall action than season one, which I do kind of
Yeah,
miss.
true.
And I do one thing that I did kind of like not like about season two is like the design of a lot of the worlds and a lot of the places that they go and like their city. It went like the design went away from like looking like Lord of the Rings to looking more like say either like a modern day anime. Like the town that they're in, it looks a little bit too modern and a little bit too clean for my tastes. I kind of wish that they would do what that they would give the design of like the worlds and the backgrounds a little bit more character and a little bit more just make it a little bit more unique because I just thought that it it looked a little bit too clean and it looked like a little bit too much like all the other anime that we would just like that we would watch. And I miss the push towards that fantasy setting. But I will say this: Did you notice something about like the town, or like just how like anime nowadays likes to depict communities?
Yes.
So in this town, in Rimru's town, they are so self efficient in this town. So like this
They
town that
have
they
water
live in.
systems. They
Yeah,
have water
they
systems, hot springs, all of it.
yeah. So they have like all these public services and all these like programs and like everybody has a job, everybody has a purpose in the city. Like there's like no homeless people, everybody's taken care of. So this is like a socialist utopia. Like this is like a kind of society that like likes to help their neighbors. Like it seems like everybody, you know, treats everybody with respect. Everybody's out there to like help one another. Nobody's trying to like steal from each other or like hurt each other in any way. And so, and it's interesting because oftentimes when we see in these shows, in these like modern anime shows where like the plot of the story is like, oh, we got to build a new society, we got to build a new town, it always ends up in this kind of like socialist, socially responsible community.
Yes.
And it's interesting that you say that that one kingdom was attacking them, and that kingdom is known to be very greedy and opportunistic. It kind of reminds me of it kind of makes me think of like, are they doing like some kind of social commentary where like they're criticizing like countries like the U.S. and Russia, like how their societies are bad, you know?
Yep.
So that's just like an interesting thing to think about. Like, and I'm surprised that like nobody has caught on to this. But then again, if normies would have caught on to this, you would have people like Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro losing their shit over like these socialist utopia over these socialist utopia worlds. But yeah, those are just like my thoughts on season two. Season two, it's a pretty solid season. Not my favorite. It did things that I didn't like. But yeah. Anything else that you want to add to our discussion of slime?
For the Maha discussion of slime, I just hope the animations are great when season 3 comes out because I really love this series.
Yeah.
It's almost at the point that it clicks to my interest.
Mm.
It's almost there to my favorite animes. If season 3 comes out and it's the same as the manga, and the animation is pretty good, and it hooks me in, it's gonna be one of my clicks.
Yeah.
of animes to watch again.
Okay.
Ooh, actually, speaking of, I just remembered the name. The anime I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Go for it.
Hold up. Let me got it. I remember I saved it here. Let me get it out. Da, 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 da. Undefeated Brother Chronicles, Maru,
Mm.
Maru War of Gunnar, Maru OV, Maru GXP,
Electric Boogaloo.
Tenchi Universe, and Demon Lord Retry. There you go. Those were
Okay.
the other enemies I like watching.
All right. So what would you give that time I got reincarnated as a slime out of like 10?
I'd give it an 8.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes. I really liked it. Everything was good, and the only things I didn't like was because they keep freaking mentioning him. He was a girl. He's not
Really?
a girl. And then the other thing is that some of the what was it? Some of the characters design,
Mhm.
like you said, it's always dramatic. I was expecting more different, like
Mhm.
more different. Of course, they had to go by the characters, but they can at least change it up a little bit. Because I'm at that point
Yeah.
where everything Tyrannic is getting boring for me now.
Yeah, like again, I really appreciated when the show was more satirical and more subverted tropes and expectations. Like for example, they have a beach episode in between like story arcs.
Yes.
And it's kind of like just like your standard beach episode. But like I remember like that one episode in My Hero Academia when like all the students are at the pool, so that's kind of like their beach episode. And so Mineta invites all the female students, mostly just to look
No,
at them.
not the female. They overheard they were going to the pool,
Oh,
and they wanted
yeah,
to
but
go.
so yeah, so they go, but just to look at the girls in their bikinis, but they're wearing more school appropriate swim uniforms that are more that are that cover more of the body. So that was like a subversion of expectations that I actually liked because it made you believe one thing, but it did the other thing, and it did it for the sake of comedy.
Yep.
And so that's one thing that I appreciate about animes that are self-aware and when they can like parody the things that they are known for. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna give the rating a little bit lower. I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10 because again, season one I really enjoyed the heck out of season one, what it was doing and what it was accomplishing. Season two brought it down a little bit for me. Like again, I think I like My Hero Academia more than that time I got reincarnated as a slime because I think My Hero Academia, like in terms of like story and characters, it appeals to me more than that time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's still a good show. I can't wait for season 3. Hopefully season 3 doesn't suck. And that is my thoughts on the slime. Okay, so that's the end of our discussion. So now we're gonna announce the next movie we're gonna talk about, which is my turn.
Oh
And
no,
do you know which movie I'm gonna recommend?
I don't remember at the top of my head what it is.
So
Brother.
I am going to recommend 2 movies actually. I'm gonna recommend Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. And I'm recommending Volumes 1 and 2 because the whole story takes place within 2 movies. So you have to watch the 2 movies in order to understand the whole story.
Yep. So we're gonna be watching it.
So we're going to be watching Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 for the next episode. So again, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on our social medias, leave a comment down in the comments, and we'll check you guys out next time. Is there anything that you want to plug before we end the episode?
Head over to Twitch/TV Dragon9074. I'll be there at times when I'm
Link
free.
is going to be in the description.
Yeah, I'll be there at times. And you have any questions about the podcast, you can simply just ask me. I'll be there. I'm not really that big
I'll
of a
be
streamer.
there.
I'm not going to be that big of a streamer, but I hope you guys come over and support me because I want to play games for a living.
Okay, now, again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye. We will see you once again in the next episode. So please don't cry.